For today's tutorial, we will be making a witch tutu dress. So you will need orange tulle, black tulle, lime green or apple green tulle, and purple. Try to pick bright colors as they look best with this design. And I'm going to show you how I chose my color pattern. So we're going to start with one strip of black tulle, and we're going to do one strip of tulle per hole, but we're going to do 2 rows. So stick the folded end into the hole and pull your strands through the loop. If you need more detailed information on how I do this, it is discussed in some of my previous videos, including the DIY no-sew tutu tutorial. So after the black, I'm going to go to purple. You can choose any color pattern that you'd like. This is just how I make mine, so feel free to switch it up if you want to. And I'm doing 2 strips per color in this pattern. So it's 2 black, 2 purple. And then I will do the lime green or apple green color and then orange. So here is the first layer. So it's black, purple, green, orange. Then what I'm going to do is go with the last color in my pattern for the second layer. So above the black, I'm going to put orange. So rather than putting black on top of black, I'm going to go with the color that came right before it in the pattern. And the reason I do this is so that I get a good mixture of the colors when your little princess is wearing the dress. So it's not going to look like stripes, it's going to be a blended color pattern. So then moving on to the next color, above the purple, we will put the black. So now you can see how I alternate the pattern. So it's still the same pattern, I just started with a different color. So we will put the black above the purple. And this again is the second layer that we're working with. So on the first layer, you'll just continue the pattern. So after that orange, you'll put black, then purple, then green, and then you'll do the same thing with the second layer. So now above the green, we will do purple. So here you can see this one section of both layers, and I'll show you what it looks like on the bottom. So you can see that all of the colors are now mixed in rather than it being the same colors right above one another. And that's how you will do it for the rest of the dress. So here's my completed dress. I have both layers attached all the way around. And now we will get into how to decorate the bodice. The cool part about this is that you will not need any extra materials. We will be using the same tool that we used for the bottom. So for the length, you want to take the measurement of the entire length of the dress and then double that. And you will see why we need that much tulle for this. So make sure you double it. And then starting with the center of the dress, I'm going to use the color purple. So again, this is the full length of the dress doubled. Fold it in half. Find the center of your dress, and we're going to start with the square that's directly in the middle. All right, so we're going to attach this just as we did all the tulle for the bottom of the dress. So you're going to put that in the hole and then pull your strands through your loop. And with this, we're going to do a weaving pattern. So I'll show you how I do that here. To make it a little bit easier to stick through the holes, I like to tighten up a little section so that it's smaller. I'm going to skip over the square that's underneath the hole I just put my tulle through, and then go into the hole right below that and out the following one. I hope that makes sense. Sometimes it's hard to describe what I'm doing, but you'll see with my actions. So pull that through gently. It's a lot of tulle that you're pulling through these holes at one time, so make sure you're gentle with it so that you're not ripping any part of your top. Okay. And so then we're going to go in and out, skipping a square every time. That way you'll get a thicker section of purple that shows. So we're skipping a square and going into the hole right after that. The dress that I'm making today is a size 5T, so I'm using a 9-inch crochet top. The finished length of the bottom portion of the dress is 12 inches, so I cut each of my tulle strips for the bottom at 24 inches. Now I'll show you here how to tie it off once you get to the bottom. So after you weaved in and out throughout the entire length of the top, we're going to skip this square, go in the hole, right below that, and we're actually going to be coming out of the hole underneath this layer of tulle. So if you could see here, I'm coming out of the hole that's underneath these orange strips. So we're going to tie it off underneath, and then it won't unravel on the top and you won't see any of it on the bottom. Now from here, you can't just make a knot because it will slip through the holes. So you have to secure it with another piece of the crochet material. So I'm going to separate my two strands, take one of those strands and put it in one of the holes that's underneath there. This part does not have to be perfect, as it's all going to be hidden under the layers of tulle. We will also be putting a bow here. So don't worry, just pick a hole that's underneath there to run one of those strips through so that when we tie it, it's securing to something. So right here, you can just tie it off. And then since we have this excess of tulle, I just cut it to the length of the dress and hide it underneath there. So no need to cut at the knot, which is why I like to make that strip long enough so that it can actually reach the full length of the dress. And then just cover that back up. So that's one piece of our woven pattern. And as you can see here, I'm pulling on it. It's not going to go anywhere because I did secure it with a knot underneath. So now we're moving on to orange. I'm going in the square that's right next to where we started the purple. And for the orange, we're going to be going in a diagonal pattern. So I'll show you how to do that here. So make a piece of your strip smaller. So just kind of twist that. And now we're going in diagonally. So I'm skipping over, it's not necessarily squares that you're referencing now, it's these diagonal threads that run across the top. So I'm skipping over one of those diagonal threads and going into the hole next to it. If you're working with the crochet top, it will be easy to map out your pattern as all the holes are even. So if it's not making sense here, once you actually start, you'll know what I mean. So skip over one of those diagonal threads and then go into the hole that's next to it. And be very gentle with the diagonal ones because the threads are thinner there. Okay, so you can see here it's coming out. So rather than straight up and down, we're going diagonal, and you want to go diagonal through 4 holes, and then we're going to go back in. So after you've gone through 4 sections, we're then going to go diagonal, coming back in towards the middle for another 4 sections. So now that we've gone through those 4 sections, then we will come back out for another 4. So here's the completed orange piece for one side. And then again, we're going to be tying that underneath the dress somewhere. So this one happened to come out from my pattern on top. So I'm going to weave that through one of the holes underneath. So I'm going to go underneath the tulle and tie it under there as we did for the purple. I've also added the other side and I followed the same pattern as I did for the left. So then I added the right, and now we're moving on to green. So to figure out where we're going to place the green, I want it to touch the orange design that I have. So I'm going to find the square that's at the furthest point and go straight up to determine which square I will start with for the green. And the green part is going to be done exactly the same way that we did the purple. So we're just going to do the basic weaving in and out. So pretty much the orange design is the hardest part. And we're going to do the same exact pattern that we did for the purple, for the green on both sides. Now we have our completed bodice all designed and ready to go. I love this pattern. Once you get the hang of weaving in and out of the crochet holes, feel free to switch your pattern up. But now we're going to finish this off with a bow. So I got this orange ribbon with white polka dots from Hobby Lobby during their 50% off week. And I also got the black with white polka dots. The black one is 7/8 inch ribbon. The orange is 1.5 inch width ribbon. And I did the bows just as I did in my American flag tutu video. So if you want to see how I did the cheer bow style bow for both of these, you can check that video out. I've already glued them together and I tied them off with my thread as well. And I'm going to just put some hot glue on the back of the bow and hold that down to the dress securely. I would hold that down for at least a minute or two because the thicker the fabric, the longer it takes the hot glue to dry. So just hold it on there. Now we can tie it off. I'm using a black 3/8 inch ribbon. And to tie that, there's a hole underneath where we attached the bow. So we're going to be threading this piece of ribbon through that hole. So I'm going in the hole that's above the bow and then coming out the hole that's underneath. You'll then just put some hot glue in the center of your bow, attach the bottom piece of ribbon to that, just like that. And then you'll put hot glue on top of that piece and bring the top piece over and trim it off. So now I have my bow attached to the front of my dress. Make sure to cut your ends and heat seal them in whatever pattern or design you want to do. For the orange, I did spikes, and then for the black, I just did a simple diagonal cut for those. And don't forget to heat seal. I cannot say that enough. Next step is to add our halter strap. You could also do the adjustable straps that I typically do. You could do regular straps that are not adjustable. Or for this one, I'm going to show you how I do a halter. I'm using the same 3/8 inch black ribbon for this. Fold your ribbon in half, and I'm going in the hole that's underneath the purple. So it's the same hole that we started the purple with. So I'm going to put the folded end of the ribbon in that hole and then pull my strands through the loop, just like we do for our tulle. And then now to hide that, what I do is I take the ribbon that's to the right and I just stick it behind the purple to bring it out the other side. So not through the hole, just behind the tulle itself. Now that black knot is hidden underneath the purple. Then you would just tie that around the neck. So there's your halter strap, and it's not going anywhere, so no need to glue that. Then optional, you can add trim. I ran out of my white trim, which is what I like to use for this design, but just so I can show you, this is some silver rickrack trim. And you can just take the length of the bottom of the dress, double it, and tie it through one of those knots right above there. Again, I want to use white, so I'm not going to actually tie this on here, but just to show you what that would look like. And you want to do that to both sides. And that's it. There's your witch dress. You can pair this with a cute little witch hat or a bow or headband or something to match. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I wanted to do something that was not character related, but perfect for Halloween season. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below, or if there's any particular design you would like me to do next. Don't be afraid to ask. I love to hear your thoughts. Don't forget to subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you all in the next one.